Imagine yourself looking in the mirror and seeing a confident, slimmer you who is fitting back into your clothes that are roomier than ever. Do you feel like you're doing everything right and not getting the results you want? You're working out and you're watching what you eat, yet that stubborn weight and even low energy are more persistent than you are. And even your sex drive, it's flown out the window. Hi, I'm Jill Gordon, and I'm just like you. I remember like it was yesterday when I weighed 50 more pounds than I do today. Yes, that's 50. And I was tired and sluggish. And, I always remember having this thin and beautiful friend who would always check herself out anytime we walked by anything that showed her reflection. And, well, I used to joke with her about it. I, on the other hand, just remember doing anything to avoid looking at my reflection. I was just so ashamed. I didn't even want to look at myself, and I tried everything. I was no stranger to diets. I tried everything: Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, low fat, low calorie, anything, but nothing worked. And I became so desperate, I even convinced myself that I could eat whatever I wanted as long as I threw it up afterwards. Well, I did that for a few years and I couldn't do it any longer because I couldn't get any privacy, but it didn't even work anyway. So it was just so silly and it made me sick. Yes, I still remember those days like it was yesterday and how miserable I was. And I was just embarrassed. I went up and down for years and steadied out at some point, but it wasn't until years later in 2005 that I learned the secret. So the secret was uncovered during a really horrible, painful period of my family's life. This is when my daughter was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is a really, really nasty autoimmune disease, especially for an 11-year-old girl. Imagine. Okay, so what does this have to do with losing weight or anything? But just stay with me here. You're going to see soon. So my daughter was really, really sick. I mean, it was horrible. We took her to all the top docs in New Jersey, but as we quickly realized, the treatment was actually pretty cookie cutter. So when one course of drugs stopped working, they moved on to the next stronger course and so on. And the problem was that she was getting so many side effects from the drugs. They started layering drugs on top of that to deal with the side effects. So she was either sick from the drugs or the side effects. And anyway, after missing half of her 6th grade year, she never even made it to one full week of school. And the doctors decided they needed to pull out the big guns. And what were those big guns? They were chemotherapy drugs. What? She's only 12 now. She's 12. That's crazy. They said, don't worry though, because they're going to take her blood weekly to monitor her. And just don't go into super crowded places because her immune system is going to be low. And she would be susceptible to things catching, or be more susceptible to catching things more easily. Say what? At that point, we put a break on that. And we just started to think there had to be other options out there. And we were just lucky enough to be introduced to a holistic doctor who asked us if we ever considered if the food our daughter was eating was affecting her. And, we told him that our doctor said the food was not a factor. That's what they said. But again, the doctors acknowledged they didn't know what was the cause either. So when we really thought about it, Rachel's disease made her run to the bathroom all day. Her stomach was aching and cramping all the time. It made sense, right? So we also said we were willing to try anything. And so what we did was we pretty much took out all of the inflammatory foods from our daughter's diet. Now, mind you, we had no idea that she was eating inflammatory food to begin with. We had no idea what it even meant. But we followed directions and we had her eat foods instead that nourished her body. So we coupled that with some key supplements, and we discovered that she was so malnourished because her body wasn't even able to absorb any nutrients. So just to be clear, in terms of the inflammatory foods that we took out and which we replaced them with, honestly, it wasn't like she was just eating carrots and kale. She just ate real food that her body was meant to eat, like more proteins and vegetables and fruits. And her favorite meal became salsa chicken. How bad could that be, right? And guess what? It took about 3 days, just 3 days, for her whole demeanor to change. No longer was she crouched over in pain, and no longer was she running to the toilet every hour, and her face was no longer gray. We were just grateful to see her smile again. That's how bad it was. She started getting better and better, and within 3 months, she was off all of her meds. And she had some bumps in the next year or so, and it wasn't until I started reading everything I could get my hands on and taking courses that I learned what has now kept her completely in remission for over 12 years. So here's the thing. We realize that the power of food, what you choose to nourish your body with or not, really does make a difference. We realized that some of the food that we ate wasn't even food at all. It's a mixture of these long name chemicals formed to look like food. And you all know what I'm talking about if you read any of your food labels. And while it may have kept our bellies full and it certainly tasted pretty darn good, we realized how much better our whole family felt when we adopted the foods my daughter needed to eat. And, my husband and I realized later, after being just so laser focused on our daughter, that we even dropped some weight and felt more clear and energized during the day. And the funny thing was that the foods that we were starting to eat, they even started to taste better because our taste buds were cleansed of all the chemicals that it was used to having. I mean, I can't even tell you, this was so life-changing for us. Because you see, at the beginning, the doctors, they all meant well. They only did what they knew what to do. But in the end, they were just treating her symptoms. But what was causing the symptoms? We finally uncovered the root cause, which was the food she was eating. And then we were able to adjust the food, which was the cause, and voila. Her body was able to bring itself back to balance naturally. And that's why I've learned so many times, time after time after time, that our bodies are brilliant. And when we give the body the right foods or the right tools, it will respond and try to go back to balance. Just like anything in life, all you need are the right tools. So I began to get lots of questions from other mothers who had children struggling with similar issues, and then other people who struggled with various diseases and symptoms. And all I wanted to do was pay it forward because I just didn't want anybody else to go through the pain or the confusion that we went through. So I started my practice as Jill the Health Coach. And what happened was I began finding the common symptom of many of my clients was difficult to lose weight. And many of my clients, what happens was, as we started to do things to rebalance themselves, they started dropping weight pretty easily. And I helped guide them to bring their bodies, again, this was all a function of bringing their body back to balance by nourishing it with what it was meant to eat. So you see, having excess weight is really just a body that's out of balance, just like anyone with an autoimmune disease. In fact, I'll bet that a lot of you out there not only struggle with the extra weight, but that, maybe you also get that mid-afternoon slump when you feel like you have to recharge yourself with coffee or soda. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you have gas and bloat and lots of other symptoms that you don't even realize, but you just think they're normal because you've always had them. Well, what happened was, as we're going through this with clients, they really wanted to see some much faster results. So back in 2015, my friend and fellow health coach and me, we put together a 10-day jumpstart and reset, and the results, they were not only quick, but they really were incredible, much more so than we ever expected. And we had amazing success stories of losing weight and regaining control of how and when they ate when nothing else worked, with energy going through the roof. I mean, it was amazing. And the best part of the Jumpstart, there's no shakes or supplements or anything or complete starvation, nothing. It's about eating real food to bring the body back to balance. So over the years, we grew that to just under 800 participants with amazing results. And everything was going great until last year around this time. So I actually have to admit, I'm pretty embarrassed to say it, but I slipped. You see, I was working on a new online program for my tribe, and I had way too many late nights, and I started to eat late at night to give myself energy to stay awake. And I rationalized it all because I only ate gluten-free, like cassava chips or rice chips. But hello, even if you eat a bag at a clip, it doesn't matter how healthy they may be. So I started feeling it. So I started wearing shirts that were tucked out so you couldn't see my newly acquired massive muffin top. And I even avoided getting on the scale for some time because I knew I had gained more than I wanted to see. And the worst part was I felt like an imposter. I mean, I am Jill, the health coach. I'm the one who teaches people not to do this. But I'm not perfect, as it turns out. And I gained 10 pounds, and I was really horrified. And finally, I dug deep to figure out some emotional blocks that I was experiencing. And then I used the 10-day jumpstart tools that I have used for so many years, and how so many others have used it with a lot of success, of course. And I ended up losing it. And what happened was, kind of occurred to me that, these other hidden sources, maybe they were blocking other people just like me. And this was what was holding them back too, including the thoughts and the trash talk that we all put in our heads. And I'm realizing this was the missing link. So I decided to grab the reins and bring you a more long-term solution with even longer lasting results. So by uncovering past experiences and discovering the surprising blocks coupled with a clear and proven program, the 10-day jumpstart, what happened is, by combining these together, it turns out to be the secret sauce to really continued success. And I'm so proud to introduce the follow-up program that so many of you have been asking for. So here it is. In just 14 days, you will put on your detective hat to dig deep, to uncover your stubborn weight villains. Yeah, we're going to uncover these stubborn weight villains so you can then bring your body back to balance and feel confident again when you look in the mirror. So how does it all work? We've got 14 days, right? So days 1 through 4, it's all about uncovering the stubborn weight villains by digging deep. You see, there are emotional stressors and physiological stressors too that cause you to eat when you're not hungry or even late at night like me. I have found that by going through a series of exercises, we can uncover some mindset issues that you may never have even thought of. And this is the game changer, and really that secret to having long lasting success. And then in days 5 to 14, we pull out the big guns, because this is when you really start to release that pouch around the middle or that extra layer or whatever it is with our 10-day jumpstart. We're going to shake things up, let those stubborn weight villains know that you're coming after them, and you're just going to change up their cozy home by nourishing your body the good old-fashioned way with real food. Yes, your body will thank you as the pounds just kind of melt away, and you're going to gain lots of energy over the 10 days. And it will take you step by step. And I mean step by step. I've revamped the whole thing actually and made it easier and even more fun. And you're going to get videos with easy to follow guidelines, with menus and shopping lists and detoxification tips and tools and a workbook so you can track your progress and so much more. This works. I know, it's been tested, right? And just under 800 people that have gone through it have had the same raving success that you will too. Now, keep in mind, this 10-day jumpstart alone sells for $149. That's not even including all the other stuff that I talked about before. So if you're finally ready to get rid of that extra layer and feel confident when you look in the mirror and in your bathing suit, July 4th is right around the corner, please join in. But wait, there are bonuses. And as a special bonus, I am also offering a 1/2-hour consultation after the 14 days to help keep you on track. That bonus is worth $125, guys. And then I'm going to share with you my labor of love. Oh my God, it's so good. It's a recipe that I put together with 50 delicious recipes, family tested. That's valued at $28. And finally, I'm going to offer a healthy grocery shopping guide so you can easily navigate smart, healthy choices at the market. $19 value, who doesn't need that? So right off the bat, you're going to get, on top of all the program that you're going to get bonuses worth over $172. That's worth even more than what you're investing in the program. So we're also going to meet twice via Zoom, and you're going to become a member of our closed Facebook group so you can all share in your successes and challenges along the way. And in addition, your customer hub is so interactive and fun, and we've made really a fun way to help you take action so you won't fall behind and so you do stay on track. So if you are frustrated like I was and feel like you're out of control, perhaps you just haven't dug deep enough to find out what's at the root cause of what's holding you back, or or those stubborn weight villains that, are there that you just need to uncover. So you've done what most people do, But the truth is, what most people do isn't really working for them either. And at this point, let's face it, you have two choices. You can either take action now or simply do nothing. Taking action now will get to at least some, if not all, of the answers you've been searching for. But by doing nothing, you may simply remain in the same holding pattern or may not. You see, doing nothing has its own consequences in that your underlying issues may get even worse. So, if you are ready to dump that pouch or extra layer of stubborn weight, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to identify the cause of that stubborn weight and fix it fast in just 14 days so you can feel confident when you look in the mirror and in a bathing suit. So sign up below for our next Reboot with Real Food program, but do it now because there is a limited amount of space that we are taking. And yes, I am also offering a no risk guarantee. So if you go through the program without finding one stubborn weight villain that's holding you back, I will personally refund your investment. No one out there does this, no questions asked. I just want you to be happy. And, if you know me by now, I'm just so passionate about helping others that I know if you take the action and invest in the time for yourself, you will get the results and the answers that you're looking for. So, no excuses. It's time to take action now. Join our Reboot with Real Food tribe now. Click on the button below. And if you still have any questions, feel free to click below on the button that says, got more questions? Way below, right? And you can set up a 15-minute complimentary Q&A with me so I can answer any other questions you may have. So please take advantage, as I would love to speak with you. So I am looking forward to you joining our tribe. Push the button below.